Shabbat Shalom. In these strange times that try our ability to adapt and to be nimble and to be responsive, some things remain the same, some things continue to anchor us in what is most meaningful and most purposeful in our lives. And a celebration of the Sabbath, even from my dining room into you remotely, is a wonderful way to maintain a connection to what has sustained the Jewish people through very dramatic and very difficult times. For those of you following at home in our Mishkan Tefillah, in our Sidur, we begin our service with the singing of Modeh Ani. And you would think I would have had that page open. There we go, page 68. Thanking God for waking us up, which is something increasingly we don't take for granted, and for giving us the ability to connect even in these strange and difficult times. Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shehechezarta b'nishmati b'chemla, b'chemla, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha, Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shehechezarta b'nishmati b'chemla, b'chemla, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha. We continue our service, if you are following along, on page 80 with the Nisim B'chol Yom, the blessings for our daily miracles, a wonderful way to illustrate how Jewish prayer, and particularly the recitation of blessings, helps us to put a more critical focus on those daily miracles that surround us and that we often take for granted. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sechvi v'ina lahavchin ben yom uven laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, amichin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten la'ev koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavir shana me'einayim u'tnuma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who makes us holy with mitzvot and commands us to engage in the study of Torah. We continue our service a few pages later on page 106 with Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadav v'yikadash shemei Rabba, b'elmad evrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyom echon, ובחיי דכו בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה, ובזמן קריב ימרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעלם עולמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל שמי לקודשה, בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה וימרו, Amen. And if you wish, you can rise for Baruch Hu on page 108. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. And thanking God for creating all things, particularly the light of day on page 110, Yotzer Or. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, hameir la'aretz ve'la'darim alecha berachamim, uftuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit, ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, mala ha'aretz kinyanecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארוך הסלע, אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו, ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות. On page 114. Please be seated. Turn now to page 116. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Amen. We continue. Top of page 121. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing and we rejoice. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei fele, nora tehilot osei fele. Shira chadesha shibchu geulim leshimcha sfat hayam. Yachad kulam hodu v'himlichu ve'omru Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch leolam vahed. Tzur Yisrael kuma be'ezrat Yisrael uftechinu mecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go Aleinu Adonai tzvaot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. On page 124, we rise for Amidah if we wish, the standing prayer, Tefillah, the central prayer. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi adki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umida melach, Melech memit umechayei, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hakol. And we continue on page 130 with Tefillah. If I can bring it up here. Excuse me, with Kedusha. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשממנו, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו, אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, Baruch kevod Adonai minkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu vehu Yashmienu, berachamav le'enei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Yitzion, ledor vador. Hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid godlecha, ulenetzach netzavim kedushatcha nakdish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated if you want. We continue our service. Top of page 133. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. Page 137. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land and Zion restored in all lands, you are our God whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levadecha b'yera na'avod. Continue on page 138. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai our God and God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. Baruch atah Adonai atov shimcha ucha na'eh lehodot. On page 140, a song of peace, a song of wholeness, a song of wishing for God's loving care. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim, v'rachamim. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Take a few moments for Avodah Shebalev, for the private reflection and personal worship which can only come from your hearts in your inner voice. והגון ליבי לפניך. Adonai צורי, Adonai צורי, וגואלי, וגואלי. We continue our service now with the Seder Kriyat Torah for the service of the reading of the Torah, which can be found starting on page 244. Ein kamocha va'elohim Adonai, ve'ein kema'asecha, malchutecha malchut ka'olamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. This week's Torah portion is Vayikra, the beginning of the book of Leviticus. We concluded the book of Exodus last week. I'm going to talk a little bit about it in a few moments, but this is a pretty challenging Torah portion, or pretty challenging book altogether, in that so much of it has to do with the ancient sacrifices of a temple that hasn't existed for 2,000 years. But there's still some incisive lessons, and we'll share them in a moment. On page 250, if you want to follow along with the bracha for reading of the Torah, Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. And I'm actually reading out of our 613 Torah scroll that I got from Bellevue and brought here with us. Vayikra el Moshe v'daber Adonai alav me'ohel moed lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta lehem Adam ki akriv mikem korban l'Adonai mina bahema mina bakar mina tzon takrivu et korbanchem imamala korbano mina bakar zachar tamim rakivenu el petach Ohel moed yakriv oto lirtzono lifnei Adonai. God called to Moses, speaking to Moses from the tent of meeting, saying, speak to the Israelite people and say to them, when a person brings an offering, a sacrifice to God, this sacrifice should be from cattle, from the herd, and from the flock. You will bring these sacrifices. If it is a burnt offering from the herd, it should be a male without blemish. That's what you should bring to the entrance of the tent of meeting, so that it can be accepted on your behalf, on the giver's behalf. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. Amen. And just to show you, I'm not going to do a full Hagban Galila, but this was it, the legit Torah. We take a few moments to bring to mind those individuals who are in need of healing on this Sabbath in particular. If you give me a moment, I'm just going to bring up their names. Mishabeach Avotenu v'Imotenu Avraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yavarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. Catherine Harbell, Marshall Helbron, Alan Soloway, Heidi Stampfer, Tony Monagas, Virginia Stout, and Avery Dover. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. The Haftarah portion for this week, I'm not going to go into it for this kind of abbreviated Saturday morning service. I want to make the most of your attention, but suffice to say that it comes from the book of Isaiah, and this portion from the prophets is a way of augmenting the introduction to the sacrificial cult in the temple. That is the main part of this week's Torah portion. But the prophet, of course, takes an admonishing tone, talking to the Israelites, particularly those who are in exile, in saying to them that they have strayed very far, and those who are going to be returning from the exile eventually, that they've strayed quite a bit from the pathways of bringing offerings of the heart to God. So the prophet kind of takes the essence of the sacrificial process and adds a cautionary tone to it that the Israelites are not fulfilling their obligations vis-a-vis what they bring to God. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a moment. So speaking of talking about that, it's a little bit of a Dvar Torah, a little bit of a drash here. Many years ago, I saw a copy of, I think it was the Shockin Old Testament, the Shockin Hebrew Scriptures that was supposedly written for a modern contemporary audience. In essence, it was edited so that it would speak to contemporary people as opposed to just maintaining the traditions for tradition's sake. And what I found amusing and somewhat illustrative is that it reduced the book of Leviticus to basically one paragraph, and that is Leviticus 19, some of those key ethical commandments. The implication is, of course, that the ritual mitzvot, and particularly the temple sacrificial rites, were no longer relevant to modern human beings, so it dispensed with them altogether. But I think it also testifies to the challenge that the book of Leviticus lays before us as contemporary Jews, because most of the book is a detailed account of the needs of this sacrificial temple cult and creating a description of the structure for both the space of the tabernacle and temple and a very involved and meticulous ritual that, as I mentioned before, hasn't really existed for 2,000 years in that form because the temple was destroyed 2,000 years ago, the second temple. And if you mix in a few asides in the book of Leviticus in general, a few asides having to do with the laws of leprosy and a few concluding chapters, as I mentioned, which reclaim a bit more of the discussion of ethical guidelines, we come again to that notion that what do we do with the book of Leviticus? What do we do with an intensive discussion of the temple sacrificial cult? And how does that speak to people today who are 2 millennia removed from it? But I think there's a key insight to glean, even from something that seems so distant. The more narrow description of these animal sacrifices of fire teaches us something about our contemporary sacrifices of self that today we are constantly challenged to offer to others, to a higher cause. Because what does sacrifice mean today? When I discuss with bar and bat mitzvah students the essence of the book of Leviticus and talk about sacrifices and ask them what they think sacrifices mean, they usually get right to the point that in this day and age, a sacrifice is giving up something of value for a far greater value, in particular a value that transcends the self. Some further insight into how we might apply these ancient rules and regulations to contemporary life comes from the actual word for an offering or a sacrifice, which is korban. And that's rooted in the Hebrew notion of literally drawing near. Beyond the physical approach that the ancient sacrifices required, today's korbanot, today's sacrifices draw us near to God but do not necessarily benefit God, as was the case with other Near Eastern religions, where there was the perception that they were actually feeding God or adding something to their gods. Because in Judaism, God is complete and whole and needs nothing. Rather, we are challenged today by our willingness to give, and back then, by our willingness to give something of significance to serve a higher calling. That word service, the idea of serving a higher calling, is also wonderfully rooted in the Jewish ideas of prayer, because the Hebrew word for worship and for work and for service is avodah. So there's a notion that when we serve either God or others in the community, we are in essence worshiping God and providing a prayerful climate for our community. In ancient Israel, as today, the sacrifices we make are really for others, as the famous Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai taught that kind deeds equal the sacrifices. And I would add that because the sacrifices of the past and the sacrifices of the present lead to kind deeds, that's a wonderful truism. And whether to support the needy in ancient Israel, as part of the sacrifices that were offered actually did, or to save the lives of the most vulnerable from sickness today, when we give something of ourselves, it really is not about diminishing ourselves. It's about elevating ourselves by our service, by our offering, by our drawing near to others. This current crisis of the coronavirus will be, and already is, a test of our national character, our global character, as much as it is a trial of our patience and our pursuit of short-term gain. But if we can rise to the challenge of this moment, if we can embrace the wisdom of our tradition and see sacrifice as a drawing near, not only to others in need, but to the holiness and godliness that infuses our world, we will truly mark ourselves as a great and exceptional nation and world population. The words of John Kennedy's inaugural address come to mind for their power and their artfulness. Remember what Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." May these words inspire us, elevate us, and bind us as one nation, under God, indivisible, in meeting this moment together with the most enduring gifts of self. Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to dispense with the returning of the Torah to the Ark, and that there is no Ark here, but we will continue our service with Aleinu on page 282. If you wish to rise, please do so. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. And particularly in these difficult times, we are mindful of not only those whose lives are endangered in these difficult moments, but we also are mindful of those who in the past touched our lives, inscribed our lives, etched our lives indelibly with their loving imprint. And we remember them always, particularly at a time of annual remembrance when we observe a yahrzeit, because even though they're not physically here with us, in some ways the most essential part of who they were, the qualities they embodied and the lessons they passed down to us, are really their immortality, and they remain with us as long as their memories infuse and enlighten our lives. And this week in particular, we remember two taken from our congregational midst: Harold Sherman, beloved spouse of Madeline Sherman, father of B.J. Sherman, and Tacey Powers, and Jack Sherman, and grandfather of three, and Shirley Zacharias, beloved spouse of the late Martin Zacharias, mother of Howard Zichronam Levacha and Wendy Goldstein, and Sherry Zacharias and David Levine, grandmother of Aaron Levine, Susan Lynn, Max Levine, Amanda Goldstein and Scott Spitzer, Lindsay Goldstein and Matt Tossman and Justin Goldstein, and great-grandmother of 8. And we link their names to the names of those whose yahrzeits are commemorated on this Shabbat: David S. Al-Hatif, Carolyn Ahrensberg, Teresa G. Asia, Albert Bihar, Milton N. Berkman, Frida Blumenfeld, Maxine Blumenthal, Stanley M. Blumenthal, Mary Devora Brown, Harry Bugenstein, Francis Martian Chain, Ruth Clay, Dorothy B. Cohen, Manly Morton Cohen, Sidney Cohn, Max Eberson, Hannah Feinson, Belle S. Friedlander, George Gens, Celia G. Gilman, Earl T. Glant, Benjamin Gold, Phoebe Goldberg, Dr. A. Bernard Gray, Oscar Grossman, Werner G. Grunsfeld, Rose Rubenstein Jacobs, Leah B. Kahn, Lillian Levson, David Lipman, Evadna Marks, Bertrand Mayers, Julius M. Myers, Pierre Pease, Lillian Raven, Louis Rubenstein, L. Kenneth Schoenfeld, Sadie Siegel, Maxine D. Seligman, Rose Sherman, Max S. Shore, Frida Sondland, Douglas Allen Stern, Israel Stern, Burton Sternoff, Tamara Sternoff, Esther Sturman, Sylvia Sukerman, Helen Weiss, Celeste Sham Weissman, Dr. William Stanton Weiner, Anna Zaffron. And if you're thinking of a name in particular, take a moment to bring to mind the name of a loved one who has passed from this existence to whatever lies ahead, but whose presence is still palpably felt. If it is your custom to stand, please do so. If not, remain seated. As on page 294, we affirm our faith in the living God in the words of the Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, be'alma devra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevorach le'alam olamei alamaya, yitborach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei d'kudesha barichu. La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata da'miran be'elma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom arab amin shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, kol b'nei adam v'imru amen. May the source of strength and peace to all who mourn, and bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say Amen. In our closing melody, Oseh Shalom, asking God to bring peace and wholeness down upon us, but only if we are able to demonstrate our willingness to welcome that peace and wholeness and to work as partners with God, not passive recipients of blessing. Forgot for a second. Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom b'mromav, Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom b'mromav. Yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imeru Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom b'mromav. V'imru. Amen. May God guard your going out and your coming in unto life and peace from this day forth and forevermore. And let us say Amen. Please, on your own, enjoy a kiddush and motzi, hopefully a nice Shabbat lunch, because what else do we have to do these days than to come up with creative things to cook? I wish all of you peace, health, blessing, well-being, and safety in these uncertain times. And please remember that there is strength to be found both within our own capacity for resilience that lies waiting to be tapped from moments like this, and from the helping, healing hearts and hands of our community. Shabbat Shalom.